session is going to be the first session is going to be focused on getting that vision and plan and areas of focus. And then the second session on December 16th, we're going to talk about coming up with daily action items for you to implement for this, for these goals to be fruitful in the end of your 90 days. So the first thing we want to start with is your vision statement. And the reason we're starting here is in the beginning of every year, I like to go through and review my business's vision statement and make sure that everything still aligns, and also to make any tweaks or edits that may be necessary, and also to make sure that the goals I'm putting forth align with my vision. So the first question I always ask is, in terms of your vision statement, what would the company be doing so you would consider it a success? So this could be in terms of the number of people you're helping, the number of revenue you're generating. Maybe you're looking to expand to another location. Maybe you're looking to take or modify your business level or expand your business model for like B2B. Maybe you want to go into some B2C. Maybe you're looking at some reoccurring revenue models with memberships and types of all the different ways you would like your business to look in order for you to consider it a success. The second question I ask is, what does this look like financially for me to be for me to consider my business successful, right? Am I looking at a year-over-year growth goal? Am I looking at some seasonal growth goals? Am I looking at like expanding in terms of like having more staff to hire and being able to afford more staff? And then the third one is one of my favorite questions to ask is, what will my customers think and feel about my company? I always want to think about in terms of how I'm serving and what does that look like for people who are purchasing from me. And then just take a couple of minutes. I'll give you some time to write down some things right here, work through this. Even if you're just writing down keywords or like high level ideas, take a couple of minutes. I'll put a timer on just to write down some ideas and start to think about what your success looks like in 2022 based on your vision statement. And if you have any questions, you can just pop off mute and ask. Next, one of the big things that I look at is I say do have be, but really we begin with the have. What do you have to do? And what do you have to have and who do you have to be in order to reach these goals? So when we're thinking of have, I want to think of this in terms of like what your business goals are. Like, what would you like to have in your business? Is that more loyal customer base? Is it a larger email list? Is it increased revenue? And then the second thing I look at is what you have to do in order to achieve that have. Like, what type of marketing efforts, what things need to change in your business in order for you to align and get that have. And the third thing I look at is who do you have to be as a business owner in order for these things to align. And what I mean by that is when you wake up every day, what role are you playing in your business in order for this to happen? So this could look a couple of different ways. It could look like you carving out extra time a day in order to be that sole marketer on your team until you're able to have somebody join your team. It could also look like you being and stepping up to that CEO level where you're delegating and you're checking in versus micromanaging. So I want you to take some time to think about these three, and then we'll take a couple of minutes to go through them. So we're going to start with the have, do, and be. Take a couple minutes, press pause here, and then we'll work through this section. So here are some examples for the have, like grow your business to 25K a month. That would be an example of what you would like your business to have or look like, or grow an additional 25K a month. An example of do would be if you need to automate your lead generation or your email marketing, or even if you need to refresh your social media marketing. And B would be to have more work-life balance. This might be a goal for you. Maybe you're so overworked in your business that you realize something has to change and you need to remove yourself as center of it. Or maybe it's to be a true business CEO and you're managing a marketing team. Or maybe you really want to focus on product innovation. This is going to be very personal to you and your business. And I want to encourage you to really dream big here, because this B will really influence what you're able to do and have. So next thing we're going to look at is the big picture. And I like to think of this as a wheel, because they really are different spokes on the same wheel, right? What are your clients saying about you? What does your revenue and profit look like? And those two are often very directly linked. What does your schedule look like, right? If you're working 18 hours a day, which usually is all business owners when we're in startup mode, right? Like we're working, it feels like we're working around the clock and we don't get breaks. But what does that look like as far as sustainability? And how do you spend your time? Do you feel you're focusing your time in one area of your business versus another? And maybe that's why you're not growing the way you would like. Or are you needing to make a shift and spend more time away from your business and allow the people who are working in your business to have some say in like their position and giving them some authority in their position? So that way you're able to step away more. Who is on your team? Does you need to expand your team maybe, or maybe you need a key member that can help direct this growth? And what are your products and services? And where's the opportunity for you to grow your products and services? Almost every business, there's an opportunity for a new product or service based on what you already have. It's not true for everyone, but it is true for a lot of industries. So I want to give you a couple of minutes to start to jot down some ideas on the big picture wheel, and really think about and give yourself a little bit more clarity on what you need to prioritize. And if you notice when you're filling these out that maybe one of these is heavier than the other, right? The circle can only be one size. And if you're spending so much time, say like you're spending 15 hours a day on sales, you're not going to have much time for the innovation, automation, and the other areas of your business, and something has to give. So really take this as an opportunity to do like a self-audit. Elena? The next area we're going to look at is what I call stop, start, continue, improve. And this is where you're going to take an audit of what you're currently doing. What do you need to stop? What is no longer serving you in your business? There might be activities that are no longer working for you. For example, if you find that you're spending 20 hours on social media marketing and you're not getting any sales, it might be time to stop that activity, invest your time either in someone financially to be able to take that on, paying someone, or investing your time somewhere else. Start. What do you need to do in order to reach your goals? Is there a new habit or a new marketing method or something you need to do in your business that you need to start up to get this going? My big hint is if you don't have email marketing, it might be email marketing. Continue. What is working in your business that you need to continue to see through? So if you have a channel that's very successful for you, I want you to continue that channel. For example, if you have the type of business where you're doing lots of like pop-ups and different markets around, I want you to continue that. I want you to continue right now whatever is driving consistent revenue in your business. I don't want you to start something and then you neglect that number 3. And number 4 is improve. What do you need to improve as a business owner to reach your goals? So you might be doing something in your business right now that just needs a little bit of tweaking, but you just need to improve upon it in order for it to be successful for you. And another hint, if you're not sure what that is, or if you need an evaluation of your marketing efforts, please reach out to Elena. She can get you in contact with a wonderful counselor who can help you evaluate what's working and what's not working and help you get on track. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to work through this. Just hit pause and go through these steps. Now let's look at the strategic plan. Now we're going to talk about how sales, marketing, and revenue all kind of overlaps. You want to be hitting all three so you can hit that sweet spot in the middle. So I want you to think about all the different ways that you want to focus on growing your business over the next year. So these are just some examples of different line items that you can add in your business. So say you have the type of business that you would be able to add some type of subscription or ongoing recurring revenue. Or maybe you have a business where you can add some custom work or some one-to-one, or maybe you're looking to launch a new line. So I want you to think about all the different areas of your business you're going to focus on growing over the next year, and then looking at what that could attribute to your bottom line. So if you're looking to take on, 100 new members and you're charging, $120, what would that look like? And just kind of get an idea of what these revenue streams would look like and what those projected sales can look like. So then we can start to focus on where you're going to focus your marketing efforts. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to focus on this before we move on. So now I want you to think about your current product suite. What are the current product and services you offer, and what would you like to expand upon? And take some time and identify the product or service, what the price point is, what your current sales are, what the goal is, and then your ideas to grow each one. So just break them down one by one. And if you have a very expansive product line, maybe you could do some grouping. For example, if you had maybe a clothing store and you had different brands and you wanted to grow specific brands, or maybe you find you sell more tops, but you'd like to add shoes to your revenue. If you have a very large product line, you can group them. Or if you have a very simplified product line, you can break them out one by one. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to think these through. So now we're going to talk about what we're going to focus on. I recommend focusing on 2 to 3 per quarter. When you get beyond that, it really gets hard to juggle. Really, if you have like 1 to 2 top priorities in your business, that's really where I would focus your efforts. When you start to hold too many balls, some just drop. It's just the way it works, unless you have a team that you can delegate to. So if you have a team that you're able to delegate to, you can take on more initiatives. But if you really are doing this on your own, like a lot of us are solopreneurs, right? So I want to make sure that you don't get overwhelmed. I want you to pick 1 to 2. And then the questions you're going to ask yourself is, one, the first offer you're going to focus on. How are you going to drive leads to your offer? No matter how wonderful it is, your product or service, right? No matter how incredible your business model is, if people don't get their eyes on what you're offering, you're just not going to sell it. What's your revenue goal for this offer? And what metrics are you using to define success, right? So when we're looking at a year-long goal, ultimately we all want more revenue. But when we break this down, Q1 might be you need more traffic and lead generation before you can focus on your revenue, right? Might need to get more eyes on your offer, and then we can optimize your offer and optimize the user experience. So don't feel like your first goal has to be revenue based. It might be growing your email list. It might be, increasing the number of people that visit your site, your traffic. There could be a ton of different goals you can have on your business that are going to, at the end, drive you to your end of year goal. So why don't you take a couple of minutes? I have in the workbook you're going to be sent out, there are additional sheets for each of these. So you could do you could really take your time and write them out. So just go ahead and take a minute or two to work on this. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about today is creating a 90-day focus plan. So like I said, I want you to pick 2 different focuses, primary and secondary, unless you have a team. If you have a team, just add additional focuses. And then I want you to start tracking. And I added some revenue, traffic, leads, followers, some examples here, but don't feel like these have to be your metrics. I just put some ideas in there so you can start to get the brain flowing on what you'd like to focus on. And I want you to break it down by month by month. So like what's going to be your focus for the first month, second and third? For example, if your first quarter goal is to grow your email list, so you're able to, start some email marketing. Month one might be getting your automation set up. Month two might be getting some lead generation for people to opt into your list. Month three might be starting to send out offers in regular email. So I want you to break it down by your primary focus and then break it down month by month. I'll give you a minute. Okay, this is where we're going to end it for today, because I really want you to think about what your goals are for the year and start to break them down. So that way, when we come back on session 2, you're crystal clear on what your goals and intentions are, so we can start to work through what those daily habits and daily action items need to look like for you to get to your goal. Does anyone have any questions?
Feel free to unmute yourself and ask Amanda if you need to. You can take your camera on too, whatever floats your boat.
And if you get stuck working through these, again, just reach out to Elena. She can connect us and we can meet one-on-one to work through these and dig a little deeper if you're stuck. But I encourage you just to, rewatch this, block out an hour or two and really just dig deep and think about and be realistic also, right? Like if you have 0 email followers right now, you don't have any lists, like growing to 50,000 in the first 90 days might not be realistic. I want you to stretch, but I also want you to be realistic.
We're getting a ton of positive feedback. I'm so happy everyone enjoyed this. Since you registered for this one, you already are registered for the next one. So just look out for the same Zoom. The email will be sent out for a reminder in a week or so, and you can use the same link to access. So again, this recording will be sent out, as well as the workbook is already with you email wise, I believe. So just look out for it in your email. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.